I guess we've got to decide how we want to use our funds as far as planting. We talked about some trees in the park, didn't we, at one time down here, that they were taking some out?
Well, in fact, you know, the minutes in the last meeting, it said, you know, that I would check in to see what the extent of the ash trees was in the, you know, swimming pool park and the city park. And so shortly after that meeting, I drew up some notes on it, and I never got around to making a map where people could read, and I did that last night. Let's see. And so I did that. I should have stapled these together, right? Should have gone to everybody. Okay, this is the city park.
And you're talking Chautauqua Park?
This is Chautauqua Park, right?
Annie?
And
thank you.
Now these are what are in existence now?
These are what are in existence now. Page 2 where I say tree, or page 1, let's make this tree, where I have tree inventory at the top. And these are just my general impressions. I don't have I'm not a forester, but you know, I've done a lot of work with trees. Kind of one of the, like if we look at the swimming pool one, when I did that one, I would just look at it. I was looking for ash trees since that was where our concern was. This would be in the southeast corner where the playground equipment is, down, you know, it would be straight east of the tennis courts. About 4 ash trees right in there with the playground equipment, such that if we lost, and they're good sized trees, if we lost those, the playground equipment would be just out in the hot sun. It would take away from that. And I'm just recalling from memory, I know that we have a number of Colorado spruce on the west side, and then it'd be in the northeast corner. I know there's a number of walnut trees there. Other than that, so the only ones I really pay attention to is the ash trees there. If we were to lose those, I think we should think about perhaps putting another tree or two of a different species in there, getting those going in the event that we lose those to the emerald ash borer 5-10 years from now.
Are they showing any signs yet?
No. In fact, emerald ash borer is not really a problem yet in this state yet, but it is in Chicago and it is in Illinois.
It'll cross the river eventually.
It'll eventually cross the river. Somebody will bring in some firewood or something. And then the city park one, I have, you know, and here I put down what the relative sizes of the trees. So like if I say on the top left, 9 12-inch crab apples. In other words, there's numbers 9, and they're about 12 inches in diameter. And that's at about chest height is where the measurement for foresters do. So in the city park, there's a lot of ash trees. A lot of the pine trees are either dead or dying, and the city's going to be taking out some of those during the winter.
Okay, is that what you've got X's on them?
Okay, so the X is just with a circle around it, just simply marks where the trees are, and then the legend to the side, like up here I have 9 12-inch crabapple trees, which means they're about 12 inches in diameters.
Didn't we lose one? Well, you wouldn't have it on you. Didn't the beaver come up and cut one off, or cut so bad that it died? I mean, they really chewed it up.
Okay.
And I think one is a it's not a crab, it's a...
Is it a fruit tree?
No,
You talking about that redbud?
yeah, redbud.
Okay.
That's the other side of the sidewalk.
Is that the other side of this?
Yeah,
Mhm.
it's north of the sidewalk, where the redbud.
Okay.
It's hanging in there, but it's getting
Yeah.
fewer branches.
Yes,
And-
but they're
and-
not very strong trees.
Well,
We lost
they're
ours.
usually on a fringe area of a forest is where they find them.
Well, actually, they're more for understory.
Yeah.
In a fringe, or if there's other trees above
Yeah,
it.
They're like
it's kind of out by
canopy
itself,
above.
really, a hot sun, and
If
that's
it's
when-
out, that's not where it's supposed to be.
But it's still, it's beautiful in the spring.
Oh,
They are,
it's-
they're
they
gorgeous.
have great shape.
The problem with these apples, they get apple scab, these ones here, these
Yeah, they're
varieties,
old
they're old,
varieties.
but they still hang in there, so you hate to tear them out if you don't have to.
So the apple scab, meaning the stuff that comes from the red cedars, you mean?
No, the older varieties are subject to that. And
Okay.
you see the leaves that get spots on them and they fall off and they get
Okay.
pretty shaggy towards the end of the summer, and that's what
Okay.
it is.
So my take home would be, okay, in City Park or the Chautauqua Park, there's a lot of bur oaks that if we were to get oak wilt, which may, if that becomes a real problem in Iowa, we could lose a lot of our oak trees. So that would be my concern there. So you can see scattered throughout, there's a number of bur oaks. Here, quite a few down in this area here. So we've got ash trees up in here. Let's see, ash trees here. Bur oaks up here, ashes and oaks up here. Ashes here. A lot of bur oaks here. So if we were to lose our ash trees from emerald ash borer, and then if we would happen to be hit by oak wilt, which can kill trees too, Chautauqua Park is going to, and then with all the pine trees dead or die, we don't have much left to go down there.
No, I guess not. My feeling would be it's difficult to try to start other trees under the story of oak, though, because you got the shade, a tree that can withstand. And until they're gone or start thinning out, I mean, I would see if they're taking out some of the fir tree, Austrian pine, or whatever's down there, replace where those are gone,
Right.
rather than trying to interseed in among the oak and the ash.
Right, but what we might be able to do is, okay, let's say if we have a bunch of oak trees here, go out into the open area
Yeah.
where they're not,
Right.
and plant
Yeah, I can
kind
see
of
that.
around
If
them.
I had, I'm not, I haven't down or pay that much attention. I should look at it and see what it's like, and see if there's some open areas where we could do that.
Is that really low, right there?
Whereabouts? Okay, this is, there's an ash tree here, so
It's going to be wet, it floods,
it might flood, but
so,
there's some, and probably, if we were going to put trees in, probably the best thing to do would be to have Joe Schwartz, the forester, come in and say, recommend what you want in these particular areas for these
Yeah.
particular, like you'd mentioned, the red oaks in the cemetery, which is a fair amount of lowland in there too.
yeah, something that can tolerate being underwater for, a few days or a week, whatever, and, well, that's a good map, that's kind of,
And it's kind of rough. I just took a sheet of paper and kind of quick went through and put X's and approximations. But
Well, if we knew which ones the city was going to take out too, that would
Yeah.
really help us. If we give this to Adam and let him mark with red or something of that sort, the ones that he was going to take out, would that be helpful?
I think you can just about do it right now. Where you see pine trees,
yeah, no, that's an Austrian half dead.
Like way down at the, let's go from the bottom up. How,
Okay.
Look
that
at which
Scotch
one,
pine
the
down on the
Chautauqua
left,
Park?
okay, there's one 8-inch Scotch pine down here.
and that's dead?
Okay,
Or do you know?
I think that one was okay, but it's just a matter of time and it's going to be dead. But there's a blight going through in the pine trees, it's going to